What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with episode 3, Ego's Matchmakers. In this segment, I basically play promoter and put together some realistic matches for the fans, some fantasy fights that I would love to see, and I kind of go over and explain why it would be a good matchup, why it makes sense, that kind of thing. So in this episode, I have Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Marcos Maidana as the main event. In the undercard, Danny Garcia versus Amir Part 2, a rematch at 147. Now, as far as the main event goes without saying, they're talking about making a Mayweather Khan fight as is. At the moment, I don't think Khan has deserved it, done anything in the last few performances that really warrants a Mayweather payday, nor do I think his fan base is so huge to the point where he's the biggest UK star and this fight just has to happen. So from a business standpoint, it's gonna just do record breaking numbers. Um, there's a lot of people from the UK, Ricky Hatton, Kell Brook, Carl Froch, and I think their fan base is gonna be just as big, if not right equivalent to an Amir Khan, especially with Amir Khan's losses. At least Kell Brook, he's growing on the fans and he's winning and I guess improving. So how does a fighter who hasn't really looked great in his last couple performances have a bigger fan base than someone else? And like Carl Froch is just like a warrior. People respect him for his how brave he is. Even though he had a close fight with George Groves, he was still able to get the job done and get him out of there. He's not the ref, so he can't really control the fight being stopped prematurely. Um, so truthfully, I don't even know how big Khan's fan base is. So I think Khan just needs to earn the Mayweather payday. A couple years ago, I wouldn't have had no problems with the Khan fight, like pre Lamont Peterson or right after the Peterson fight, something like that, after Mayweather got out of jail. But a lot has changed since then, and I just don't think Khan has looked exceptional. So I think he should rematch Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, the lineal champion at 140, he really beat the guy that beat the guy, or he beat the guy himself. So people like Lucas Matisse beat Lamont Peterson, and Danny Garcia beat him. Danny Garcia also beat Amir Khan, also beat Zab Judah. Um, he's that dude at 140. He's big naturally, so I think moving to 147 is going to be a realistic, natural progression for him. And again, I don't really see much of what else is left at 140. Brandon Rios just fought Pacquiao, and I believe he said that he's going to stay at 147. Even even like if you think about it, Brandon Rios couldn't even make weight. He posted like tested positive for some kind of diuretic, so it looks like he's having trouble making 147. Don't really see him moving back down to 140. And Mike Alvarado just got demolished by Ruslan Provodnikov. A fight with Danny Garcia and Ruslan Provodnikov. Who knows if that would happen because of the Cold War, top ranked Golden Boy. So really, what's left at Lamont, or excuse me, what's left for Danny Garcia at 140? A Lucas Matisse rematch, but I mean it'd be interesting to see possibly what would happen if Lucas's eye wasn't fucked up, but Lucas didn't necessarily do enough, especially in the championship rounds, to really warrant a rematch. So a fight at 147 for Garcia and Khan, I think, is spectacular. Another thing that's good is it's kind of like an even playing field for the both. I state this a lot, but timing is everything in the sport of boxing. It all depends on where you're at and where two fighters are in their careers, their confidence, their momentum when they meet in the ring. Danny Garcia and Amir Khan both have never fought professionally at 147. So since they fought at 140, this is a realistic step for both of them because they would both be fighting at 147. Again, I don't think Khan deserves a Mayweather shot, so let him test the waters, see if he can beat Danny Garcia and avenge that loss at 147. Then at least you have one fight that has taken place at the full welterweight limit of 147, not a Julio Diaz catch weight, which was life and death for you. Plus, it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. You're getting some experience at 147 with that weight, and you're also avenging a loss. So if Amir Khan can convincingly beat Danny Garcia at 147 in a rematch, I think then you can justify a Mayweather performance against Khan, because at least he has a credible win. So that'll be like a 3-win streak for him and avenging a loss. And Danny Garcia is a respected champion. So I think that makes sense, and I would be on board with that. And then if they want to make a Mayweather fight for September, I'm okay with that, because at least Amir Khan went through Danny Garcia and avenged a loss. Or if Danny Garcia wins, then he cleaned out 140. He fought Khan again at 147, and if he beats him, there's his test at 147. So if they want to make the Mayweather payday, then I'm all for it. That makes sense. They both fought at welterweight. If this fight were to happen in this particular order, everybody's happy. And aside from that, I think it's a good business decision, because business-wise, Amir Khan and Danny Garcia, a rematch could be huge. A lot of people bank and say that the Danny Garcia Amir Khan ended because it was a lucky punch, quote unquote, and Danny Garcia disagrees. So we would be able to see if this is a fluke, if Danny Garcia is able to reduplicate what he already did, or duplicate, I guess you can say, what he already did at 140. And there's not going to be a lucky punch scenario that Amir Khan can use a second time if the same thing happens. So I think it'd be great from a business perspective. This fight, in my opinion, will make a lot of money, because it's two fighters who have an exciting style. Plus, it's a rematch. The first one, he got hit on the neck. We can see once and for all if this was a fluke. Going on to the main event, Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana. And this is really self-explanatory. You got the pound-for-pound #1 guy in the sport, #1 pay-per-view draw, highest paid athlete, going against an all-guts and glory type fighter like Marcos Maidana. Now, this is seldomly talked about. But Marcos Maidana, win or lose, has a great resume. He's fought Eric Morales. He's fought Victor Ortiz. He fought Josecito Lopez. He's fought Devin Alexander. Recently, he just defeated Adrian Broner. So he has a tough schedule, and he's steadily improving from the Soto Caras fight all the way to the Broner. I've seen improvements. I've seen him utilizing a jab, more boxing skills. He already had the tough as nails approach and relentlessness and the punching power. That was already a problem for people. And with the Adrian Broner win, he kind of threw a monkey wrench in Broner's plans. Now, since Broner stated on record multiple times that Floyd is his big brother and he's not going to fight him, now it doesn't even matter, because we don't even know if Broner's going to stay at welterweight or if he can hang at welterweight, and he no longer has a belt. So the fight with Mayweather and Broner doesn't even make sense. Broner needs to rebuild. Marcos Maidana has the belt. And plus, from a business perspective, Marcos Maidana-Mayweather fight makes perfect sense. Mayweather, young protege, aka little brother, Adrian Broner. Broner gets beat up by Maidana. Little brother gets big brother. So it's a real easy storyline to sell when they're doing the all accesses. They can talk about how Mayweather and Broner are close and they're friends, and the big bro, little bro. They can play off that and have Mayweather basically avenging his little brother's loss, kind of like some kickboxer type shit, if you've seen the kickboxer movie with Van Damme. So with Golden Boy, this fight can happen. Mayweather does business with Golden Boy. And at the very least, we know that Marcos Maidana is going to go out on his shield. And he has a belt. So it makes way more sense than a Amir Khan fight, because at the very least, Marcos Maidana, again, we know he's tough. He's going to go out on his shield. He's going to try. He's going to try to bring it. And he has punching power, so he's deadly for all 12 rounds. Versus Amir Khan, who has a glass chin in a lot of people's mind and has never fought at welterweight. And he has no belt, so he has no trinket to offer. He doesn't have a chin like Maidana. And we're just supposed to buy a Mayweather fight with Khan based on Khan having tremendous hand speed and never having fought at welterweight. Marcos Maidana has had several fights at welterweight against good competition. Devin Alexander, he fought some bum in Argentina. Jesus Soto Caras, who gave Keith Thurman some early problems and has a chin of his own. And then Marcos Maidana recently against Adrian Broner. Plus, like I said, he has a belt. That sweetens the deal. That would be one step towards unifying the division. And for the casual fan, I think it would be an exciting fight. Marcos Maidana could push the older Mayweather, just to see what he really has, what kind of game plan he would use. And I think the casual fan would buy it because Marcos Maidana, although he's from Argentina, a lot of Mexicans resonate with his fighting style, and just a lot of Latinos and just different people from Argentina. There's a whole big demographic of fans, myself included, that appreciate Marcos Maidana and his warrior spirit. So again, instead of making a Mayweather Khan, make Mayweather Maidana. It would be 4 belts, and like I said, at the very least, we know Maidana has a chin and punching power, so it could be intriguing, it could be deadly, and it's far better and far superior to an Amir Khan fight because, again, Amir Khan has done nothing at welterweight to warrant a Mayweather fight, and I really don't even know how big his fan base is. Plus, Marcos Maidana's fan base has probably grown since the Broner fight, and I think a lot more people know his name based on the amount of attention that Broner had and how he beat Broner in such an upsetting fashion. It's the talk of boxing. Go on Twitter, go on YouTube, go on WorldStar. You'll see Broner memes. You'll see a bunch of highlights of the video. It was on ESPN. A lot of boxing channels are covering it. I've done several videos. So at the very least, Marcos Maidana's fan base is growing. He's fought at welterweight. He has power, devastating power, destructive power. And we could see Mayweather in against a big puncher, so it would sell for the casual fan. And we could see the outcome of that fight. So I think Maidana's more deserving, plus he has a belt. And then the Amir Khan, Danny Garcia is a no-brainer, a rematch. And then it also sets up a future fight. So let's say Mayweather gets past Maidana and makes it look like easy work. That's cool. Now you've already promoted your next fight. Amir Khan versus Danny Garcia winner. Whoever wins that fight, they deserve a shot. That's cool. Amir Khan has one solid win at welterweight against a tough opponent like Danny Garcia. Or if Danny Garcia won, he cleared at 140, then rebeat Amir Khan. Give him the Mayweather shot. He at that point definitely deserves that payday. So fights with Pacquiao and Bradley may never happen. Bradley even said the fight would never happen based on the Cold War and Top Rank not working with Golden Boy, vice versa. So these are realistic fights that could happen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do they make any sense to you? Leave a comment. Let me know. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.